network of COTHM is at the moment
This meeting is being recorded.
watching and listening to you, and we would like to accord you an absolutely warm welcome. Please welcome 𝗕𝗵𝗵𝗿 sahab.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Babar. Thank you to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And 𝗕𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗿 साहब, अभी हम सोशल मीडिया पर लाइव भी होंगे और COTHM के नेटवर्क में जितनी ब्रांचेस हैं 15 ब्रांचेस, वहां पर हमारे स्टूडेंट्स, फैकल्टी मेंबर्स और मैनेजमेंट टीम मेंबर्स तमाम लोग इस वक्त मौजूद हैं. And we will be capitalizing on this great opportunity of listening to you. आज जहां एक तो मौजू मेन आपका है कि ग्रीन टूरिज्म और ग्रीन हॉस्पिटैलिटी पे किस तरह काम किया जा सकता है, वहीं हम ये भी आपसे सुनेंगे कि किस तरह हमारे आज के जो यंगस्टर्स हैं जो इस वक्त हमारे एजुकेशन नेटवर्क में हॉस्पिटैलिटी और कलिनरी एजुकेशन हासिल कर रहे हैं, ये कल जब हॉस्पिटैलिटी इंडस्ट्री में एंटर होंगे तो इनके हाथ में कौन से स्किल्स, कौन सा नॉलेज होना चाहिए और किस तरह की पर्सनैलिटीज होनी चाहिए ताकि हॉस्पिटैलिटी इंडस्ट्री की एक्सपेक्टेशंस को ये भरपूर अंदाज में मीट कर सकें. तो वी वुड लाइक you to shed some light on those key areas which are vital for these young people to be successful in the hospitality industry once they enter this hospitality industry. So over to you, 𝗕𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗿. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Babar, for giving this opportunity to meet with so many this young future leaders. And whenever we are coming close to the young generation, we always feel ourselves young also. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity. And I always love to meet and welcome your people, who are coming for training in our hotels. I think we had this tied up for many years now, with COTHM, and then we had actually so many professional people coming from Pakistan, in our previous hotel and even now the existing hotel also. So today agenda was that to speak on sustainability and green. I think that is one of the area which is lacking, unfortunately, in our culture, in our society, in our institute, as an individual, as a corporate, as in a government. So we don't think actually, our business on a sustainable way. So what I had actually started my green journey in one of the hotel in the past experience. The reason I had chosen because I wanted to gain actually commercial benefit, and I thought that how I can increase profit in my previous hotels. 2010, I think 2011 when I started this journey. So my thought was that to increase the revenue is one side, but how I can reduce the expenses, because normally that the profit is in between, when you're increasing the revenue and then you're decreasing the expenses. So middle area is your profit, so as much you are stretching your profit, your expenses, your profit increase, or you're increasing your revenue, so your profit increase. So I started actually thinking that how I can reduce the expenses. So in hotel industry, that the major expenses what we have in UAE is utility, and of course globally, not only here. So in utility you have the electricity, you have a water, you have a gas, because in kitchen we are using gas. So I thought that how, the second biggest expense was utility after the payroll. So how I can decrease this expense. Then payroll is very big expense in UAE, because we have not only the salaries, because when you're working in Pakistan in any restaurant or hotel, you come from home, you are entering into the hotel, you have locals, you change over there, finish your duty, you're going back home. But in UAE it's totally different. More than the payroll, we have a payroll burden, because that we have to issue the visa, then we have to arrange the tickets, we have to have the health insurance, then we have a certain expenses in terms of accommodation, then giving 3 meals also. So along with the payroll, there is a payroll burden. So the issue was that the people are not really satisfied with the property, so they are joining property and leaving property. So we called it turnover. So turnover of staff was damn high, 65%. So people are coming and then leaving, coming and leaving. So in this case, you know that you did not have really the opportunity to reduce your visa cost, your labor cost. So that is a big expense actually, you know, that is really a big expense, because when you have the turnover high, then of course you will have a lot of expense actually. So I started thinking that if we will not have really reduction in our staff, this visa cost, we will be getting new people. And above all, a new person is coming, you have to spend money on it for training. And then once he is trained, he's leaving and another person is coming. So in this case, your service is disturbed also. So unless you will not have really, if you will not have really a reduction on this cost, you cannot make profit. So all these steps to reduce your expense, actually it was a commercial objective, you know. So you have reduced in utility, you have reduced in water, you have reduction in natural gas, and how you are reducing all this, you know, because you are involving the leaders who are the head of department in your hotels, and then down the line supervisor, and down the line staff also. So it's like as in a team, we started working on reduction. So when we had started working on this, believe you me, that our profitability was increased. First year, we had actually moderate profit. Next day, we had a good profit. And third or fourth year, we were market leader actually. And the beauty of all this project which we started, you know, as a green initiative, we built a very strong team, and then people, they were working not only as a commercial objective, everybody become really a responsible hotelier, because we said that, okay, we have to really convert our activities into green, and we need to be a green hotelier. So being a green hotelier, we learned so many new things. Like for example, waste was another area which nobody was thinking about. So when I asked chef, how much is the waste every day in your kitchen? He was clueless. He just put assumption 300 kg, maybe 350 kilogram every day. I asked this question to housekeeping, executive housekeeper. I asked this question to chief steward. I asked this question to different head of department. Nobody had idea, because there is no monitoring at all. So I said, okay, let us sit together, form a committee, and we called it a waste management committee. We involved actually some expert from outside, like the people who were collecting our waste, 𝗕𝗵𝗶, they were a part of us also. Green Mountain, there was another waste management company, and we established a committee. You will not believe that the first time when we had weigh our waste from the kitchen and from overall, it was 950 kilogram. 950 kilogram waste was going out from our property on daily basis. You know, guys, when you have a waste every day from your house, from your college, or from the hotel or from restaurant, you know, this waste is going somewhere, and we call it landfill, a mountain of landfill. So all this waste collecting from these people, and they are throwing in one place, and we call it landfill. And this landfill is growing, and becoming a mountain. And we have a very small emirate of Ajman, where every day 650 ton waste was going on landfill, and our hotel was contributing 1 ton waste, 950 kilogram. So I thought it's a big sin, and we have to think that how we can avoid throwing this waste on the landfill. Maybe these things really you are not understanding now, or you're not taking it serious. But believe you me, it's really very, very important, especially for the people who are in culinary. They should think about it, that this waste is really a big, big issue, which nobody is thinking, because simply you just getting from buffet and then throwing on landfill, you know, on every day. So we thought that, okay, we will become a waste warrior, and we need to reduce this waste. And then we start working on it. So initially we thought that, okay, how to curtail this waste? So we had not really a proper counting that how many half board, how many full board, how many all inclusive on daily basis in our restaurant, you know. And our restaurant was very busy, because we were having the Russian and Ukrainian guests, and every day we have 500 to 600 breakfast, 350 to 375 average, you know, our lunch, and 400 to 450 every day covers, in our restaurant. So our restaurants were very busy, banqueting was very busy. So we started thinking that how to reduce. So we brought actually a concept of compost machine, and we brought actually the first compost machine in the Middle East, where we converted actually 65% of our waste going to the landfill, because this is one of the machine compost where all the kitchen food, which was about 65% of the total waste, and we were doing actually the composting in-house. So all the kitchen waste we were treating in this compost machine in 24 hours. This was converting into a fertilizer for the plants. So we had installed the first compost machine in the Middle East, and we made a big noise that we have diverted 65% our waste from the landfill. And you cannot imagine that after doing this this work, when it went on PR in different newspapers like Gulf News and Palestine, the ruler of Dubai, he read this news, and then he bought 8 times bigger machine, this compost machine, in Zabil Palace. So when you are doing good things, that how many 5-star hotels, they came to Ajman and they started, thinking about changing their way of working in the kitchen. And then after that, so many hotels, about 30-35 hotels in Dubai, they adopted our work. So that's why you need to be pioneer, you need to start something, and then if it is good work, people will definitely follow you.
It's a great contribution.
Yeah. Then this compost machine, then we had irrigation within the hotel. We have 430 square meter converted into you call it like a kitchen garden, or you can call it like a small farm, and we started growing vegetables. So same compost we were using in this farm, and we started growing vegetable within our property. So you can imagine, that how process thought that you started, how we can divert this waste. Then it went to compost machine. Then we started growing vegetable inside the hotel also, and then we started serving this vegetable in our restaurant, and it became a story. That so many journalists came, they put this story, and they were publishing that how a hotel has converted into a green. And
Absolutely.
not only this, China national TV, CCTV, they came and they have done one exercise and showcase us as a case study for the industrial waste in China. So you can imagine that
That's
one
wonderful.
hotel who has started this step, it went into a biggest economy in the world. They came and they have put this, as a case study to showcase all the industries in China that they should also adopt these things. So we have started this journey from here, and then that we have seen that how much we have the other waste in the area. So this waste was one area, team building was another area also, and then human sustainability. As I mentioned, that we started taking care of people. That when you have the staff working along with you, and as a general manager, if I will be working as a normal person, as a manager, that I will not feel that how many good players in the team, they deserve to be tomorrow manager. So what I started thinking, that the people who are working as a waiter, people who are working in the reception, people who are working in the finance, people who are working in reservation, how they can become tomorrow leader. And that was really a sustainable thought. In this 10-year period, I promoted banqueting waiter, to F&B manager. I have seen that in 10 years time, a banqueting waiter become, cluster F&B manager. A receptionist become a director sales. Another reservation guy become operation manager. So there is a long queue, long number or list of the people who were promoted. And what happened, that these people were so loyal to the company. This is called sustainability, a sustainable operation. That the people, instead of getting from outside, you were promoting your people, and these people become so loyal to the property, and they were working like this is our own company. And this concept is called sustainable operation,
इफ्तिखार भाई, it calls for a huge round of applause for you. मेरा ख्याल है कि जबरदस्त तालियां, क्योंकि ये
Thank you, Baba.
Iptikhar bhai, it's a huge contribution, and especially when you mentioned that the Chinese government came to study your model and showcased it in China. it speaks volumes of your contribution to this industry. Iftikhar bhai, my question, these young people at the moment are studying hospitality management, culinary arts, baking and patisserie, travel, tourism and airline management, and even food, nutrition and safety sciences. They are studying in different departments. Would you like to guide them as to what they should do at this point of time while they are studying in the institute to become fit for the hospitality industry? Because after finishing their education, they'll be stepping into the hospitality industry, some in Pakistan, some in the UAE, and some in the other parts of the world. So I would request you to kindly, uh, give them an insight into what they should do now while they are at the institute.
Well, I mean, I'll make it more, lively session, Babar, and will share with you, that how I entered into this industry. I mean, unfortunately, I had no previously, study in hospitality, because I did graduation from 𝗕𝗵𝗂𝘀𝗁𝗵𝗿. And then after that, I joined PC Lahore in 1994. So you call me like as an ranky, so I just working, without any hospitality, education. And I felt lacking actually, because theoretical, education is also very, very important. So you don't need to really struggle such a long time like I did, from 94 till reaching now 2022. So when you have really, a proper theory background, that makes a big difference, and it contributes a lot, And I can say that I have meet with many of your students when they came over here for training. So you have, mashallah, a very good setup in Pakistan, and then the guys, they have really a good education, and not less than any developed countries. What I personally feel, when you guys are coming to the international market, which is really very important to understand. Being in Pakistan, you are just meeting only with Pakistanis, so you don't meet with other cultures. When you're coming out of your country, especially like in UAE or in Gulf countries, or maybe you are going to London, for example, which is a very metropolitan and then multicultural place. So you feel over here not only Pakistanis, you find over here the differentiality. You get East European, you get West European, you get North Americans, you get many Far Eastern Filipinos. So different cultures are here, So when you're coming, you are meeting with different cultures. So in this case, what I find in our guys, that is that your language is a big issue, So the people who are coming from Pakistan, majority of the students, they need to understand, that you are coming not only to speak with Pakistanis. Over here, you are speaking with multinational, So language is really very important, very, very important. And that's the reason that in competition, when other countries, I don't want to name it, but then when they come over here, then the competition is so stiff actually. And in this case, you need to have really a way to improve the English language, because that is the key of success. When you're coming out of Pakistan, you need to improve your English skill. That is really very important. Secondly, grooming is also very important, guys. When you're coming over here, that also I felt within our children who are coming from Pakistan, and even from the other the subcontinent countries also, your competition is in this market, so you need to really groom yourself also. It's really very important. When you're coming for the interview, for a job hunt, before speaking, they will see your personality, your wearing, and your grooming, So you need to really learn these things, and these are very basic things. But why I'm mentioning over here, because I find this actually on many occasions, and I discussed this with Shafiq Saab when he was here also. I spoke this to Raza many occasions also. I spoke actually with this to Babar also, that really we need to groom. When you're coming outside, you need to understand that is really very important. Another thing, that when you are coming, for the training, your attitude is really very important, because you are ambassador of your country, So when you're coming over here in a new place, you represent actually your country, your culture. So your attitude should be really very good. And then when you're choosing a hospitality industry, then you understand that you have to start from the scratch. And then the lacking part is that most of the time when people are in culinary, when they're coming and joining, the kitchen, then immediately they want to leave that place and they wanted to go to reception. They want to go to reservation. So you make your mind that what exactly you want to do. I mean, if you are in a culinary, I mean, this area is vast. I mean, in kitchen, that in lifetime you cannot complete actually, because if you look your cold kitchen, your hot kitchen, in hot kitchen, how many cuisines you have, in cold kitchen, how many cuisines you have. So if you have chosen and you are study, so couple of time, I mean, I have noticed that you have studied, you have completed the education. When you're coming, then you wanted to change over it, and it happened not only one time, many times. So when you are choosing your field, you need to really understand that that you need to make your career over there. And that as a chef, I can tell you that you have a big scope, big scope, I mean, not only in UAE, all over the world. Even being in Pakistan, you can make a big difference also, because food is a necessity. Whatever pandemic will come, medicine and food business will never end. So that's why it's really very important that if you start your project, if you're starting your education, it should continue with the same way, not like to derail. And that happened many times. That's the reason that I need to mention over here. So you need to really commit it with your area, and then you need to continue over there. But another very important thing, you need to understand that hospitality business is really not a joke. You need to understand that it's really a big responsibility. I can tell you that, I mean, I posted actually yesterday one Instagram story on my social media. That one handicapped family, when they were in our hotel, the way you have responded back to this child, I mean, at the end, his comment was so good that I was tear off, So it's a very responsible industry actually, because people who are coming to stay from different country, from different culture, you are going to host them. So it's a very, very responsible actually industry. So you need to really learn. And when you're coming in a practical life, I wish you good luck, that you will have really a great future. I mean, there is no end of reaching to the height. Like I started my career as a reservation clerk, and then I become 5 years in the same industry as a general manager. So sky is the limit, guys. If you have the potential, believe you me that you can reach to the highest level. And especially when you're coming to international market, I mean, here you have thousands of hotels, So you have a more opportunity when you're coming outside of Pakistan. Maybe, I mean, in Lahore, years and years, I can see that you have only the PC, you have Holiday Inn, and you have Awari. But when you're coming outside, you have thousands and thousands of hotels and different chains. You have international chains. So if you really study well, you are good in your theory, and when you're coming and showing your attitude, I'm sure that you can make your future in short span of time. So you don't need to really spend 20 years to reach on a high level. I mean, you can really teach to reach actually on high level, on executive position, if really you focus, you study well, and you perform well. And management will never ignore those people who are really potential for their company or asset for their company. So good luck,
That's right. 𝗕𝗵𝗶 भाई, कुछ क्वेश्चंस भी होंगे स्टूडेंट्स के आपसे. हमारा ये अब इस वक्त लास्ट सेशन है, जिसमें हम कुछ क्वेश्चंस भी आपके सामने रखेंगे. तो एक तो स्टूडेंट ने मेरे साथ क्वेश्चन शेयर किया था, मैं ही आपसे वो पहले पूछ लेता हूं. तो सवाल उसका ये था कि इंटरनेशनल जॉब मार्केट में इस वक्त कोविड के बाद जो सिचुएशन है, उसमें क्या सूरत हाल है करियर डेवलपमेंट की, और फाइनेंशियल रिवॉर्ड के हवाले से उनने पूछा है कि कैसा होगा.
Babar, depend on a country to country. I mean, many countries they realize that that they cannot really close their economies. They cannot make the lockdown. Like for example, UK, they have announced that there is no PCR required now for traveling. So if you travel from Pakistan to UK, I mean, there is no PCR required. And I think that everybody has realized that that we have to live with this this corona. Corona will not finish, so we'll not wait till we will kill corona. We have to understand this will continue. It's a part of our life. Only we need to learn that how we can live with it. So if countries are understanding, I'm sure that everything will reopen. And some countries like UAE, they had precautions and they opened the doors for all the country. So whoever is coming with a negative PCR result, they were welcome. And you cannot imagine that that the December in our hotels, we did the highest ever profit in 11 years. We did actually the 2021 highest ever profit in last 11 years in our hotel. So can you imagine, we perform better than 2019, 18, 17 from 2013 since the opening. So it means that businesses are opening. So there is no need to worry at all. This is a matter of time that only the government, they will understand and they will adopt it, that that this is a flu. This will continue. People who will have the not good immune system, they will suffer more. People who will have vaccination, people who will have really, proper diet, they will not affect. So I'm sure that there are a lot of opportunities, inshallah, in future. And this corona is dying. This corona is threat is dying. Only the challenge is political basis in different areas, and we should pray that Ukraine and Russia, what is happening, it should not happen, because that is a big threat. Then Kazakhstan, because there was also political unrest, which affected a lot, actually, especially in resorts business. So if those clouds are over, I'm sure that there will be a lot of opportunity in the future, and inshallah, business is coming back. I have full confidence.
That's great.
Assalamu alaikum, Iftikhar Sahab. I'm Sabir from Karachi.
Right.
I would like to know about the job opportunities for the female candidates, especially because there's a lot of fear whenever female candidates are traveling abroad. They have fear in their mind about the placements of the job and about the their stay over there, stay alone sometimes. So how can we overcome these type of fears from the female students in Pakistan?
Thank you, Sabir. Very good question. One thing I just want to tell you that UAE overall, or even the GCC, I think this is the safest countries in the world. And why we are successful here? Because of the safety. I do travel, a lot, and then my family remains here. And then even 3 o'clock night, if females are going outside, in UAE, there is no threat at all, So one thing is very clear, that any female, if she is traveling to UAE even alone, and if she doesn't have any connection over here, and if she wanted to stay on sharing basis, you can just find that sharing accommodation. So many girls are traveling actually from the East Europe, from Philippines, and they don't know anybody. So it's the same way like a male, that if you don't know, not necessarily that you have auntie and uncle. This is the old school of thought, just take it out, that you need to have somebody over there to take care from the airport and then to take you at home and to cook for you. No, females are not less than male, and they have more potential. They should come by themselves, and we need to give this confidence actually, to our parents, that that time is over. No, we have to really compete international marketing differently. UAE is the safest place. If you come by yourself and then get the sharing accommodation by yourself as a female, staying with female, it's very much possible. Secondly, women empowerment is another area which most of the hotels they are looking seriously. Some hotels, they are hiring only female. So there is a one hotel, I think Hyatt here, they are hiring only female. So even the engineering department will be female also. You have the chefs all female also, security female also. So full hotel is getting actually women empowerment and full 100% female. So there are a lot of opportunities for female, and there should be no threat at all. They should travel, they should come over here, they should find, they should explore. Only the thing that before coming out, as I mentioned to you earlier, that each one of you should understand that you should have really good skill in English, because when you are sitting in front of the interviewer, you should convince him that you are an asset for the company. Because if you're coming only as a male or female, it's not big difference at all. But when you're in front of the interviewer, you should tell him that you are really asset for the company, and you can do something, because you are going to sell yourself and you have a big competition. So I think it's a good question, and then this should be clear to all the female that you are welcome not only in you, everywhere in the world, and then you have a great future, inshallah.
Thank you very much. COTHM Islamabad se maine hand raise dekha hai. Is there a question from COTHM Islamabad?
Yeah,
Please?
Babar Sahib, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure, sir.
I have a question on behalf of the student.
Yeah.
First of all, Far Sahib, I would like to really appreciate your time and your thought-provoking ideas and the guidance you have given to our students. One of our student has asked the question. The question is, as you are awarded with Green Key certificate, I would like to ask why Pakistan is not among the 65 countries of Green Key certification. I hope if the question you heard the question.
No, I got you. I got your question. Thank you very much. I mean, Green Key certification, is not that much strong. Green Globe is more difficult to get actually than the Green Key. It is not countries. It is actually you. I mean, you guys, when you people will be joining any hotel and then you take a lead, just like we did in our previous hotel, that, okay, we wanted to get a Green Globe. So there is a checklist, in Green Key or Green Globe, there is a long checklist, how to do in energy conservation, how to do in documentation, how you will do the waste management. There is a checklist actually. From all the certifications, there are different certification, not only Green Key, there are different worldwide. But Green Key is simple actually, it's not difficult. A leader of the hotel, or HR department, they need to really start taking actions and then to work on that checklist. And when you are taking, every day that, okay, we have completed this task, then you can get that certification. Certification is really not important. For me, it's very important that you need to change it, because mindset is more important, guys. You need to make sure, that you need to be part of this society and to think that what threats are coming tomorrow for our children. It's not only that commercial objective, that if, for example, we are throwing this waste on the landfill, or we are not taking part, the electricity, and we are just, adding actually carbon emission, what will happen tomorrow? And that is very important that you people start thinking about it. And when you're going back today, just Google, what are the threats for tomorrow? How sea level is really increasing and why it is increasing, why carbon emission is increasing. So it's not a country, you can be pioneer, where I was working, believe you me, this property was not really like super 5-star hotel. It's like a normal 4-star, hotel, like apartment. But we start taking, this initiative, and we become pioneer in UAE. Can you imagine that we defeated Dubai municipality? We defeated Dubai airport. We defeated duty free. We defeated Emaar as a group, a hotel which is a 4-star in nowhere. So we cannot think that, okay, being Pakistan, we cannot do. You guys, like you are studying in COTHM, you can take lead. Believe you me, COTHM will be a green college, and I will start working on this project now. I will start working, and you will be green certified. I'll start working with Babar and Shafiq Saab, that you will be certified as a Green Key first college in the world, and we will start. So
Inshallah.
You need to start somewhere. You need to take initiative, because every time if we are thinking, that how to start, how to do it, you should start today. It's not difficult at all, believe you me. You need to have confidence in yourself that you can do, you can bring changes. I was so proud when Imran Khan was speaking, in international level, and he was talking about this billion tree. It was so good that, that so many colleagues from Europe, from America, they started thinking about it. They were talking about Pakistan. So any positive vibe in you will create a positive image of your country. So start today. Don't think when will happen. It can happen today.
Iftikhar Sahab, one more question from Lahore. We have a student who is an entrepreneur at the moment. He is studying hospitality management, but he is running a restaurant also. He has a question for you with regard to the waste management. Roshan, can you come, please? forward. And his question, Roshan is standing with me. His question is, in a restaurant context, how can they reduce or minimize the waste in a restaurant operations?
Okay, there are two ways. One is like, unfortunately, that the consumer, like your guest or your customer, when they're coming, they are wasting, and that being in the hotel, I can tell you, different culture, they have a different way of waste. Some people, they take food and then they don't eat even half, and then they will leave. Then they will go again on the buffet. They will fill it and they will waste. So in the restaurant, I mean, if really you want to adopt like as a green initiative, you need to have those messages of waste. Some countries, they are really on different level. They have put actually fines that if you leave the plates, then they weigh and they charge you. Like, for example, if in my plate, I mean, I will left 25%. So they said that, okay, they will take this waste and they fine actually that customer, or the customer has to pay for that waste actually, because at the end, he's not eating and it's going to waste. You cannot reach on that level. But then you need to educate your customer, and then you can be pioneer, in Pakistani market by a nice slogans inside the restaurant in a nice way. So it will not look odd also. So it will be education for the people who are coming not to waste. Secondly, the waste management part, which you are throwing actually on the landfill, those compost machine, I think that later on I can pass on those information to you, where you can get and implement actually the first restaurant in Pakistan where you can adopt actually this compost. And that compost machine not really need to be like on commercial level. It can be small level also. Or maybe you can have a macerator machine over there. So these kind of things really very good for peer purpose also for your restaurant. At the same time, it will be really a good initiative. So you can just convert that waste. Instead of throwing on the landfill, it will become like a compost, which you can give to different farmers. And if you don't want to get compost, you can get actually macerator. And I will pass on all those information, Babar, after the meeting.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Iftikhar bhai. It was wonderful listening to you. बहुत मजा आया आपको सुनकर, हमेशा की तरह. मैं चाहूंगा कि COTHM की मैनेजमेंट की तरफ से हम सब मिलकर भरपूर तालियों से आपका शुक्रिया अदा करें.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच, थैंक यू.
और इंशाल्लाह बहुत जल्द आपको हम दोबारा इनवाइट करेंगे और एक नए मौजू के साथ आपको हम एज अवर इंटरनेशनल गेस्ट स्पीकर अपने साथ ज्वाइन करवाएंगे. थैंक यू वेरी मच सर, बहुत शुक्रिया.
थैंक यू बाबर, थैंक यू वेरी मच, एंड थैंक यू टू ऑल ऑफ यू. थैंक यू,
थैंक यू वेरी मच.